All right, so today I'm going to be going over a preview of one of our technologies called Smart Submit. So Smart Submit is a smart submission platform. Before we get into exactly what Smart Submit is and what it can do, I wanted to take a step back and look at the industry as a whole. So the industry is growing at a fairly rapid pace. Over the last 10 years, there has been an average increase in publications of about 4% annually. According to the National Science Board, 1.8 million articles were published in 2008, and 2.6 million articles were published in 2018 worldwide. So as you can see, that information is growing at a pretty exceptional rate, especially as digital technologies take more hold over the industry. Processing all of this new content is very time consuming. So here at Access Innovations, we want to help streamline that process for you. So what is Smart Submit? Well, it's more than just your basic content submission platform. It's simple, it's customizable. You can use it for submission curation, automatic indexing, content filtering, and it also provides detailed analytics about the process. So you can use this both as an external facing application or an internal support tool. So authors may be able to submit documents directly to you. You can use it for in-house uploads and indexing, as well as updating existing files with new indexing and results. You can customize all of the fields, such as adding new fields, editing fields, or removing fields. You can specify the data types you would like each field to represent and set which fields are required for submission and which fields are optional. Once you submit an article or any kind of content, it'll automatically be indexed against any of the supporting thesauri that you have hooked up to your system. This will help reduce your editorial time, as it will parallel index all of your, or against all of your taxonomies at the same time. And it's scalable, so actually it supports an unlimited number of taxonomies, assuming however many you want to hook up to it. If you don't find a term that you're looking for in the initial indexing, you can always go into that specific text or indexing content. You can add new terms. You can suggest a term if you can't find it in the hierarchy, or you can remove a term if you don't find it fitting. In the search field, you can actually search for both preferred and non-preferred terms. And if someone selects a term to add that is a non-preferred term, it will instead add the preferred term to your indexing. Content filtering is a newer feature that we're introducing into Smart Submit. It supports specialized taxonomies of controversial topics to help flag content for something that you might not want to have published. For instance, if you had suspect science or something, like an area of science that wasn't pertinent or wasn't a good fit, you could flag it for additional review for your editors before sending it out to peer review. Or you could set limits. So if an article or any kind of content is submitted that exceeds a certain flag limit, you can automatically reject that article or submission before it takes up any extra time or editorial work. You can choose from a variety of pre-built taxonomies that is managed here at Access Innovation, such as bad cell lines, suspect science, and we have several others. Or you can create your own custom taxonomies to use as your own personal filters. Or you can mix and match and do a bit of both. We also built in an administration platform directly into Smart Submit. This allows administrators of the system to manage users, set which projects you want to have for automatic indexing and their individual settings, as well as which projects you can use for filtering. You can change your submission form settings here as well, such as the fields, add new ones, delete old ones, or modify new ones with updating information. Inside the dashboard, you'll see a few graphs and displays that you can use to help improve your taxonomies or others' workflows. And some of the common features that we'll show there is frequently indexed terms, added terms, removed terms, and suggested terms. Why would you want to use SmartSubmit? Well, it's versatile, customizable, and it's very efficient. It could help speed up your production pipeline, quickly filter out any controversial content, categorize content and dispatch it to the proper peer reviewers, and reduce the time spent on content that you don't want published. SmartSubmit can fit into a variety of areas in your workflow. Here's an example publishing workflow that we created here, where SmartSubmit can be either used as an external author submission platform or an internal editor support tool. You can see that we can set in flags and a flag limit, so that way if it exceeds the flags, it can automatically be rejected. And you can also use this to re-index your back file if needed. SmartSubmit also has an extensive API which it was built upon. So if you'd prefer not to use our UI, or if you already have something built, you can connect to us simply via an API and integrate it into any of your workflows. So in review, SmartSubmit can enhance your workflow by automatically indexing and filtering out topics. You can reject controversial topics, spend less time on rejected content, and you can easily modify the indexing as needed, and provides powerful analytical tools to help you improve upon your supported taxonomies, and of course, an easy to use API. Thank you. My name is Mike Miller. I'm going to pass it over to Frank, who's going to talk to you more about our support team.
Good.
See, this better not take it off. There we go. Perfect. All right. I love it. Hello, everyone. My name is Frank Coates, the Client Support Manager here at Access Innovations. Today, I'd like to speak with you about different client support tools that are available for you to contact support, as well as how to find them and to access them. I will also go over why it's important to us and to you that we provide stellar service to you and resolve issues quickly so that we can maintain productivity and you can be confident in your relationship with Access Innovations. So I'll begin by explaining the importance of client support and what makes our system stand out. See, our client support model follows these principles: transparency, interactivity, and accountability. So when it comes to transparency, we want you to be able to be confident in the work that we're doing to resolve your issues. And later, when I'm showing you the ticketing system, I'll explain how you'll be able to know our complete process of issue resolution from start to finish, and always know the status of a resolution without needing to wait to hear back from us. With interactivity, we value your input with the utmost regard and want to ensure we maintain open communication during the process, the whole process, and have the ability to adapt to changes as they occur. When it comes to accountability, we want you to be able to know who is working on your issue. And we will not consider an issue complete until it's in your hands, the fix is in your hands, and you approve of the outcome. To accomplish all of that, we have numerous ways for you to contact us, whether it's through email, our website, phone calls, virtual meetings, and our new ticketing system, which has some really unique features that I think you'll enjoy. Each of these ways are valid ways to contact us, and we're always able to help whenever you reach out to us. First, I'll be showing you how to contact us from our website. So as you know, our website is accessin.com, but you may not have noticed that right at the top of the screen, there's a phone number and an email address. This bar is at the top of every page, allowing you to contact us from anywhere on the website. The email address is clickable, so it allows you to prepare an email that gets sent to our support team. There's also a dedicated Contact Us webpage, which I'll be showing you next. You just simply click on Contact Us and it will take you there. Our dedicated contact page is accessin.com/contact-us, contact us. And it contains a form that you can submit along with your information and a summary about what your issue is, or a summary about anything you want to tell us. This tool is not limited to simply just getting support. You can use this form to set up meetings or to get more information about our products. This is functionally the same as using the email link that I mentioned before. However, this form lets you send an email to us without having to leave your browser or to use a third-party mail client, like for those people who don't like Outlook or something. The information that you need to provide is simply your name, your email address, subject line, and a brief message. And of course, a small security check, to make sure you're not a robot. And once you click submit, you'll get a confirmation message and that your request was sent, and we get an email with all the details that you submitted to the contact form. So now you can also use the support tools while working from the dashboard. It's very simple to do, and it ties in very well with our ticketing system, which I'll be discussing during this segment. The Data Harmony dashboard, dashboard.accessin.com, is a web platform for the Source Master and Maestro and other applications, but it also contains a way of accessing our ticketing system. You just simply need to click support, and you will be brought to the DH4 help desk. Similar to our main website, this blue pane on the left, it's always visible on the dashboard. So you'll be able to contact support no matter what module you're working in. So let's check it out. Okay, so the help desk has many options for you to gain support. And I want to make it clear that you do not have to be on the dashboard to reach the help desk. There's a direct link you can use to go directly to the help desk, which I'll be showing you later. But when you do get to the help desk, you are given many support categories to choose from. The Source Master support and MAI support, of course, but there's also portals for licensing and billing, general questions, bug reporting, and ways to give feedback about new things you want to see from us. And you can also give us feedback on improvements that we can do to help you out. But I won't go through all of these. I will show you the bug reporting portal. You just simply click on one of the options and you'll be brought to the next screen. Now, as you may notice, the report a bug box right there has a drop-down menu. You can switch to a different option if you need to. Like if you decide that maybe a different category is better suited to what you need, you're not locked into just one portal. You can just change it right there. Now, with reporting bugs and issues, you just need to include a short summary, which will become the title of your issue, and list a few symptoms to describe your issue. In this case, I have the summaries being something's not working right. And the symptom, our installation is behaving unexpectedly. This is, very common type of things if you're dealing with issues. So additionally, along with the symptoms and the summary, you can upload just about any type of file to include with your request. For example, you can send a screenshot of the error or some log files, or you can submit the file that you're having issues with. The attachment is not required, but it can be helpful to include screenshots, files, etc. if you have them. And you'll also need to provide an email address. Now, after submitting the help desk request, you'll get a confirmation with your ticket number, and you'll receive an email at the address you provided allowing you to view your request. For security, the first time that you sign up, you will need to register with your email address and password to view your request, which can be done easily using the link that's sent to you in your email after making the request. But once you're registered, you don't have to re-register again to view new requests or to submit new requests either. But here on this screen, you can view the bug report that was just submitted. This screen gives you the reference number or the ticket number, the title of the ticket, and the status of the issue, which will change as we work on your issue. You simply click your issue title so that you can get more details and more information about the resolution process. So these next slides will show how you can stay informed on the status of a resolution in real time. On the right-hand side at the top, you can see a status icon and it says open. That means you just opened this request with us and we haven't started. Now I will overlay what we see on our end. As we're working, we can move the status from open to another status like work in progress. This is also where we can assign these tasks to the right staff member and adjust the priority levels according to your needs. And you notice at the bottom, there's an approvers section, and I'll touch on that in a bit later. But I want to point out now that every time we move that status to a different status, you will get a notification email sent to you at the address you provided so that you can stay informed about what's going on the issue. And similarly, as part of interactivity, each of us can make comments under the issue. We can let you know what's going on, but also automatic responses will keep you informed. Every time we make a comment, every time we transition to the next step, every time we really do any work, you can get notified by an email. Also, you have the ability to make comments for us as well. And we're immediately notified when you comment. If you want to get some more details from us, you can say it in a comment. If you need to upload more screenshots, more files, you can send that there in a comment as well. Then, as I mentioned before, the issue is not resolved until you approve of the fix. As shown earlier, we transition the issue from stage to stage as we're working on it. And one of the last stages is making sure the fix works for you. When we move it to the approval stage, you're notified and are brought to the next screen. At this stage, you test out the fix that we delivered to you and verify that it solved the issue. If the resolution is not to your satisfaction, you can decline the fix, which reopens the issue, and we get back to work. If you approve, that status changes to resolved and everyone's happy. This finally closes the issue. Look, I know there's no mask and social distancing in this picture, but I like to think that afterwards, when people are on both of our teams, and really we're on the same team, I like to think that this is the vibe of our organizations when client support is transparent, when there's good communication throughout the whole process, and when we're kept accountable for the fixes we deliver. I think it's a good feeling when client support goes right. Of course, no one likes when things aren't working the way we want them to, but having a system where the client is well informed of the fixes and the timeline of the resolution, and when you know who is working on your issue, and you can communicate with them quickly and easily, and when you, the client, have the final say whether the fix works for you, that's the kind of client support that we're aiming for. And we're hoping that this streamlines your productivity and minimizes downtime. See, the cure should not be worse than the illness. So we want to make fixing problems and supporting our clients a very high priority while ensuring you receive the best experience possible. So thank you all very much for your time. I do want to clarify that this ticketing system, it does not replace the regular emails and the weekly phone calls and the updates. This is just to give you another option in seeking issue resolution. We're always trying to improve the services we offer you, and we hope this system proves to be beneficial to you. And even if you're not submitting tickets to us, we still use this system in-house. If you give us issues through an email, we can put a ticket in here and still keep you informed. And we use it to keep you informed as well. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. So on this page, there are a few important links that I mentioned during the slide. You can always email me as well as a dedicated support email. So feel free to contact any of the staff that you normally interact with. Each of us is open and receptive and totally happy to help. Plus, there's a link right there for our ticketing system, dataharmony.atlassian.net/service desk. Once again, I'm Frank Coates, Client Support Manager at Access Innovations. I hope I don't have to hear from you soon because, everything will be working perfect. But if we do, we got your back. Thank you very much, everyone.
Great. Thank you, Frank. We've been using the Jira and Atlassian tools and found them to be very, very helpful. Those are things that we've just implemented within the last year. So I brought Margie back up. There are some questions about my Smart Submit. The first one is related to content filtration. It seems a little harsh to reject immediately at the filtering step. Maybe it will still be better to have someone review it out of respect for the author.
So
that's a great question.
And I can take it. It's completely up to the publisher whether they reject or whether they just pivot for additional review, which is what most people do. Most of them say, before I spend the money and time to send this out to a reviewer, I'm going to give it a little deeper review. And so it's more of a filter than an absolute immediate reject. Go ahead, Mike. Do you have something else to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's always customizable. You have the option to add that into the system, but if you'd prefer to have someone review every article submitted, whether it had flags or not, you can do so. You don't have to reject anything automatically. It is just an option that we have built into the system for you.
Next question is, can you talk about how a publisher using another submission system might plug into SmartSubmit's API and what the benefits of that might be?
Well, currently we are plugged into 3 other systems with varying degrees of integration. One of them is Electronic Journals Press, EJ Press. The second is Aries, Editorial Manager. And the third is a homegrown one called RMed. And so those 3 already have some piece of SmartSubmit integrated. They reach out and then they get the answers back. They can extend from where they are, and it makes it pretty easy for integration. And one of the things to remember is each of these little taxonomies that we have in SmartSubmit or BIG are an option, so people can have just one, their own custom taxonomy, or they can have 10. We don't really care. So that gives them quite a number of filtering in addition to the indexing at the time of submission.
And that leads to the question, what are some of the other preloaded taxonomies to use with SmartSubmit?
So preloaded might be a little bit of a misnomer. I think it's probably what are the options. So you can take your own thesaurus, your own geographic thesaurus, your own author list, your own organization list, but you can also use the medicinal plant names database from the Royal Botanical Gardens at Kew. You can use the bad cell lines databases from the Swiss Bioinformatics as well as ICLAC. You can implement the clinical studies from the National Institutes of Health list. You can there's some little ones that we've developed, which you may or may not want. One of them is suspect science. So if it's an article about vaccines and autism, it might be one that you want to flag for further review. It doesn't mean it's a bad article. It just means that maybe it needs to be flagged. We have another one that filters for religion, hate, and pornography, so that you just don't want to show those to your reviewers. Some of the ones we've looked at have been a bit grody. And then we have the taxogene, the list of taxogenes. We have the AI2 access integrity options for the ICD-9, ICD-10 now, the CPT, and which is the clinical practice diagnosis, as well as from the American Medical Association, as well as the supplies and things that are listed in what's known as the HCPCS, also from HMA. So there's a lot of options. This is not an existing list. This is just what comes off the top of my head. So.
Okay. Next, we have a couple of questions for Frank. Who do we speak to get set up in JIRA?
Well, you can contact me at the email address I had, frank_coates@accessn.com. Mike Millar is also well-versed in JIRA, as well as, or send it to the support line if you need help to get set up. Actually, it's pretty self-service. You don't really need our help to get set up, but we're happy to help and walk you through it. If you sign up through the help desk itself by using the link, you can sign up through that way. But I'll be happy to help get people set up with that, and I think it would be really interesting for more of our clients to use.
And why wouldn't we need to send an email if we submit a JIRA ticket?
You don't need to send an email if you submit a JIRA ticket. However, there are many options of you to contact us for support. You do, however, need to set up an email to use JIRA with us, and that's so that we can keep communication open and you can get the notifications from JIRA.
And I will say that we are using JIRA in-house, and sometimes we say, I submitted a JIRA ticket, and I want some confirmation back, and you might have to do the same. We are getting much better at using this tool, but it's still a change of habit, and so you can set up with Jira directly, and we encourage you to do that. Those are the things that get priority. If there's a Jira ticket on it, it's going to happen more quickly. It's going to be resolved more quickly than if you send an email.
And also, again, there's that approval step so that when we say we're done working on it and we have it in your hands, you have to approve it before that ticket gets closed.
And a question back to Smart Submit. We currently have our taxonomy loaded within our manuscript system, which is updated manually. Would Smart Submit do away with having to upload the taxonomy files within the manuscript system?
So hypothetically, yes, except that in a platform such as Aries, editorial manager, they use the taxonomy in a bunch of different ways within their own programs. What would be better is to convince them to auto-load the taxonomy on a fairly regular basis so that the taxonomy in the source master is kept in sync with the one that they have within their program. So it's going to depend on the manuscript submission system that you have, but we want to work with them as much as possible. We need to do a lot of we need to do a lot of integration between our platforms and theirs. It's a pretty simple API, but what most platforms are using if they reach out to us is the Workhorse API that we have called Get Suggested Terms. And that's what they use for the indexing, but they also can just export the taxonomy on demand if we have the right handshake with them, and we need to arrange to have that handshake happen so that we don't have to export a SCOS or an XML file for them to manually load. Instead, they should just come pick it up on a regular basis.
Great. Thank you, everybody. That's the end of our questions. Appreciate it very much.